tornado.
All right, what's up? It's Thursday night, and it is one of a kind with RVD. I'm Dominic DeAngelo. Nope, I got the YouTube on. That's why I was repeating. I'm Dominic DeAngelo, and guess who's here? Guess, guys. I'm gonna give you a second. One. It's Rob Van Dam. Rob, how are you, man?
I was trying to think, dude. I'm doing great. Doing fantastic, bro.
Heck
I think my screen needs to be wiped off a little bit. Watch how much clearer this is. Boom.
Oh my gosh, it is Rob Van Dam. Wow. This whole time, I didn't know who I was talking to. The past
sir.
55 episodes or whatever we're at.
Another week, dude. Another week has gone by. Thursdays are so quick. Thursday to Thursday.
Oh yeah, they definitely go. They fly. Once you get to this part of the week, we're zooming, man. Yeah, we're live. We're live on RVD's YouTube channel. We're also live on the One True Sport. If you see that logo down there, that's the new venture we're going into is One True Sport. It's we got a whole bunch of different people on there, and from Arn Anderson to RVD to Briscoe. No, to what's his name? Jeez, I'm blanking. Real Magnum TA to Greg Gagne, the whole lot of them. But guys, Fonzie too. We just had fun. Yeah, Rob. Last night I recorded with Fonzie. We had over 2,000 people in the chat. So 2,000 people.
Nice.
So it was a real good turnout. Yeah.
Is Fonzie enjoying doing the podcast?
He's loving it, dude. He's loving it. He's like shows everything that he has. It's just crazy. All the amount of stuff and collection and photos and everything. And he can. We bring up topics, and we just talked about you for the first 2 episodes. So. We had a part 1 and a part 2 there. So yeah.
A lot to talk about there.
Yeah,
full of stories, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Full of stories, full of history. He's been there. He was there.
He was. 1978 he started. That blew my mind when he first told me that.
Wow, I was 7 years old.
Man, I wasn't even alive. But it's so crazy that, and like I know you know this story, but his first match he officiated was the Sheik and Terry Funk, and so it's pretty crazy.
Amazing. Yep. Yeah. He needs a book too, doesn't he?
He does need a book. That's a good point. He really does. I mean, because everybody associates him with ECW, but his career before that that's very stellar. Like all the stuff he was a part of and everything. So.
Yeah, I love seeing him in old photos all the time throughout history. It's like, there's Fonzie. He refereed that match.
Yeah, he's like in the background. You can just see him hanging out and stuff like that. So.
And when he tells you about being the chaperone, let's say, for Giant Gonzalez or El Gigante, when he starts telling you about those, if he hasn't already, if he doesn't bite his tongue, he's got some really good stories.
Oh, does he? Okay. Yeah. Oh man, that might be our topic next time we record. Actually, I was discussing that with our research guy, but yeah, that should be a blast. Then I hope he tells the story.
He was to that guy what Tim White was to Andre.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
Yep. Make sure take care of him, get him whatever he needs, take care of him on the road. He's a giant.
Was there anybody like that backstage for somebody in particular, like while you were at WWE or ECW or anything like that? Somebody that was like a real, not necessarily for you, but I just mean for someone else in general?
There probably was one thing that sticks out in my mind that's kind of blocking me from even thinking past it is Pee Wee, because John Pee Wee Moore, the referee, he was in our clique, me and Sabu, Louis Piccoli, and then Bobby Duncan Jr. when he was there. But he was Sabu's young boy. And, Sabu was very much involved in Japanese wrestling at that time, going from FMW to New Japan. And it's part of the tradition. Part of the way the young boys work their way up is by being assistants. Mm-hmm. You could cross the line and say servants. I don't think they would take any offense to that. I'll tell you, Giant Baba, who was my boss when I was in All Japan, I remember on more than one occasion feeling really awkward because I'm taking a shower after my match, washing my hair, and then Baba comes in with one of the young boys. Baba was just a big giant, you know. He had to just like hold on to something basically to even stand up with balance and feel comfortable. And it was the young boy's job to scrub Baba's balls. And
Oh,
yeah. And I always felt, you know, wash his ass. You know, there's no humility in it. Like that's something that you break into. It's crazy, but I always felt bad for them. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I'm going to pretend I'm not seeing this because I mean I'm wrestling that guy later on. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And even the crowd knows and understands that it's part of their tradition because they will be the valets as well. Like the young boys that work the first few matches may even be part of the 6-man main event tag match. But it'll be their job to follow the wrestlers down to the ring, grab their coats, their jackets when they throw them off, clear the ribbon of all the clear the ring of all the ribbons when all the fans throw the ribbons in when they're happy. It's like those guys, that's their job. So, you know, they're out there, you know, sweeping the broom, picking up trash in front of the whole crowd. And then, you know, maybe the match before, maybe the match after, they're out there, you know, trying to be the big protagonist in the match, trying to have everybody behind them. And, you know, they understand it. It's part of their culture. So Pee-wee was definitely brought in that way. Sabu was always trying to keep Pee-wee humbled and discipline him. And he wanted Pee-wee to – he would book Pee-wee. Mm-hmm. You know, he would – if you booked Sabu, Sabu would book Pee-wee, fly Pee-wee in, pay him as long as you let him referee the match. Maybe if you got an extra match for him to work on the card, Sabu would be extra happy. But he would do that, and in return for it, he wanted Pee-wee to be at his beck and call. You know?
Oh, yeah, the trade-off kind of thing.
So. Yeah. You know, hey, go out and get us some weed. You know, or find out. You know, go. You know, find out where a tanning salon is, or find out where a gym is, and get a yakiniku that's not closed yet, or whatever. And he, you know, it was just something that's just the way it was. That was him. Earning his way
to get it. Yeah. What? How did you get along with Pee-wee? Okay, and everything like that. And how was he as a personality to have around?
Yeah, I always got along well with him. Every once in a while, he would get a little upset at something Sabu did, which could have been reasonable or unreasonable coming from Sabu, and they'd have a little, you know, little argument. I'd have to try and tell him, you know, dude, just stay the course, bro. You're doing good. But I always got along with him well because he liked to smoke, and we would smoke when other wrestlers were into other party favorites.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, guys, if you're smoking, speaking of which, let me know, and we'll pop you up here on the screen. Also, if you'd like to help out the show, use the super chat. Helps support the show, helps get the word out. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. That gets the algorithm kicking and everything like that. We're almost to 700 viewers right now, so keep coming on in. If you ask a question, we'll definitely get to it, especially if you use the super chat. So
we should put some random animation, like sometimes I watch your other podcasts, like it'll just pop up and be like, hit the fucking like button.
Yeah, you know? We should do that. I gotta figure it out.
If the Van Dam fam watching the show has the attention span that I do, then they need shit like that.
Yeah, they definitely.
I didn't hit the like button yet. How am I not subscribed?
Yeah, gotta get that word out, folks. We got some cool people in here. We got a whole bunch of people in here actually. Fresh Take, Nate. Who else am I seeing? Bakar Natural. He's a regular I've seen in here. Triple E's in here. I don't know if that's Triple H or not. Chiming in.
One thing that's cool about the chat room is interacting with them like that. I like the way that some of them like to talk Mafia because I get to sneak in my guilty pleasure or whatever you want to call it, and without making it an obstruction to the show. You know, I would love it if people want to suggest anything about that era that they want to hear about, or they want to have any questions or whatever. That'd be cool because thought about that a lot this week. How last week I just mentioned a few things, and then there was some people that knew what maybe it was one guy, I don't know, but
It was
knew what
one
he was
guy.
talking about. Okay, yeah, he knew what he was talking about, and he was like, "Rob, fucking."
That was like
Delicato was at the crime scene when Carmine Galante got whacked. In fact, he's the one that most likely, shot him with the big shotgun. And anyway, I love that stuff, as you know.
yes. I'm fascinated by it too. I need to find a good. If you had to recommend one Mafia book to start reading, what would it be, Rob?
Well, that would be rough. I guess I would go. I mean, I would have to try to think of something that's an easy read, but that's really catching. You know what I mean? We talked about the Butcher, which is Tommy Karate. That book was one of the early ones that I read. Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman, was one of the early ones that I read. Those, like, I was just finding out, like, about the whole world. You know what I mean? And I didn't know, like, if it said the world's scariest mobster, then I thought, okay, everyone knows that. It's a fact. You know that guy, he's like, they call him the world's scariest mobster. Like, I didn't understand that was everybody. And then the more I learned about it, just because it's nonfiction, it's all connected.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much everyone knew each other, and how they were connected to our society in different ways, from running our unions to actually rubbing elbows with the politicians. And it's a small world. I mean, I've met a few of them. I befriended Michael Franzese when he was doing a show here in Las Vegas. Man, for a while there, I was DMing Kenji Gallo, who a lot of people don't know him, but his story is interesting. If you look him up, his book is called Breakaway, Break Shot. Let
me see. Take a look. Break Shot. I'm gonna type it in.
Kenji Gallo, and also.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, really good.
Ooh.
Documentary too. It's easy to watch documentary. It's easier to read. You can get it done in 60 minutes sometimes, But
Ooh, nice.
But his story is like really interesting. LA guy, and but let's see. To answer your question, like it really depends, Like if it was that broad of a question, like I just want to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Then, maybe. I mean, you can read about the families. There's these red books that are put out. I just finished reading the Lucchese family. Before that was the Patriarchas, and I mean, it tells you about like the whole history of that family. Really good read. I'm gonna say Sam Giancana.
The Bull.
Sam Giancana. What's the book? Double
Cross.
Double cross. Yeah. I think I was gonna get that. I had the meaning, and I was trying to think, what's the word that means betraying? Yeah, I would say to start with that one. His that was written with one of his is his nephew or his son.
With the Chuck Giassana, Betty.
Yeah. And he's written a lot of other good books too. But anyway, I throw him out there because he crossed paths with so much that I think somebody would find fascinating, such as the whole kill Fidel Castro in Cuba, the CIA going to him and looking for his help to assassinate other world leaders as well. And, he was buddies with Frank Sinatra. He banged Marilyn Monroe. He was instrumental, most likely, in having JFK whacked, at least planning it. So a lot of really interesting stuff that I think most people could relate to.
I am buying it right now. Once I email. It's so funny. Like, I was just about to ask you too about like how much did you know about Sinatra's mob ties? So that's awesome that this is the guy that had a.
It's amazing how many mobsters that guy knew.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, throughout the years, different territories, different families. Like he rubbed elbows with all of them. Him and Sam Giancana. I don't remember this being a double cross. Maybe it was, but it probably was, but they owned a hotel together that's on the border of California and Nevada called the Calneva Lodge. And the border goes like right through the middle of it. So you have gambling on one side and or it's legal. And it's really cool. But when Sam Giancana was outed as one of the owners, Dean Martin backed off. He was supposed to be one of the owners, and Sinatra got in trouble for it and had to go through the hearings and stuff. And just lied his ass. Said that he heard that Sam was on the property one time, and he told him to leave. But there's all this contradicting footage and stuff. But yeah, everywhere he went. On the East Coast, there's pictures with him and Paul Castellano and Jimmy Fradiano and a bunch of the guys from the Westchester Theater, which, by the way, I'm going to be in Westchester July 7th. I'm going to be looking. Yeah, I'm planning on going by the Westchester, the spot where the Westchester Theater was, where the Gambinos built this. I think I talked about it last week. They built this theater. They paid Diana Ross I think it was like $70,000 a week, something ridiculous. But they had extra seats in there where they could sell and then make money off record, and just it was just a scam every which way. But there's a famous picture of Sinatra there. But yeah, I'm going to be there July 7th at a mall, Jefferson Valley Mall. So I look forward to that. And you can see that on robvandam.com along with my other appearances. But yeah, Sinatra, he went to Cuba to the big Havana meeting, the commission meeting with all the bosses. Luciano was already kicked out of the country, made his way from Italy to Cuba, and they had this meeting, and Sinatra shows up with the right before I said it, I just blanked on their name. The brothers, they're Al Capone's Frschetti, the Frschetti brothers, out of Chicago, and allegedly he had $2 million of their money on him too that he carried, but don't know if that's true or not. It's one of the accusations. But yeah, wherever he's at though, he's always like hanging out with the different families. Willie Moretti in New Jersey was a big a good friend. As a matter of fact, Willie Moretti was instrumental in helping his career, allegedly, according to the story, when Tommy Dorsey had a contract on Sinatra and didn't want to let him out of it. Willie Moretti put a gun to his head.
Oh, shit.
Allegedly, yeah. And so all these accusations are that the Mafia helped his career like the whole way, but none of it's provable. But what is evident is that he did a lot of favors for them. Like Sam Giancana, he opened up this huge hotel in Chicago, and he's just like, Sinatra, and we have Sinatra, and book Sinatra. He's going to play my place for free for a couple of years, or a couple of weeks at a time or whatever. And he did that. He did that all the time, Sinatra. And sometimes he got paid, sometimes he didn't. And the mobsters back in the day owned the entire entertainment business anyway, so you could get blackballed in a hurry if you made some enemies there. But quite the opposite. If you haven't, there's some really good documentaries as well on Frankie.
This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Let's talk about sex, guys. Remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get the extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you receive prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in the line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. They always say first impressions are important. What about lasting impressions? Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at bluechew.com. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code RVD at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code RVD to receive your first month free. Visit Blue Chew for more details and important safety information. And we, RVD and I, thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
Oh man, yeah.
Frank Sinatra was banging Judith Exner Campbell, this other girl besides Marilyn and Judith Exner Campbell are two different girls that Giancana was with and JFK was with at the same time. And so they're saying that they transported information, secrets or whatever, which with Marilyn, who knows? I think if he was with Marilyn, it might have just been rape. Okay. But the other one, the FBI traced Judith back and forth, going from one to the other all the time. William Romer documented that and would talk about it, and that's interesting. But yeah, like right before Marilyn died, she was at that Calneva Lodge, the hotel that they owned, and they partied their asses off. She was drugged up. Apparently, according to legend, they ran a train on her while she was passed out. Had pictures of her and everything, and then she was in a really bad place because, well, the Kennedys were treating her like she had a disease, like they didn't know her, and she was in love with both of them. But most recently, Robert Kennedy, and she was saying that she was going to exploit a lot of the information that she had, secrets about the Kennedys, and boom, they killed her.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, that's crazy stuff. I grew up a fan of like the Rat Pack. D. Martin, I'm obsessed with. So and I know he was in Steubenville. He was born in Steubenville, Ohio. He worked at like the Rex cigar store as a croupier. But there was a guy named Cosmo Catrone that ran that, and I'm distantly related to him. But apparently, he had some ties with the Mafia, allegedly, I guess. And that was a front kind of thing, from what I heard, and all this kind of stuff. It's fascinating, and then the Marilyn Monroe Sinatra stuff is always like, wow stuff. So, yeah, it's holy smokes, what a business! Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I just started naming like some of the ones that some guys that I talked to. Frank Collada out here was giving tours. Mm-hmm. He died a couple of years ago during COVID, and they're still doing his tours. I think I'll jump on one sometime. I just have to leave the house to do it, which I don't do. But take you around town and show you like where some of the crimes are committed and shit. That's in the movie Casino.
Yeah,
that's a pretty cool. But I was also mentioning, someone mentioned Tommy Patera last week, and I was saying the cop that brought him down is a brother-in-law of a friend of mine. I got to talk to him one time. His name is James, and he's got an Irish name, and I'm gonna probably have to look it up to. Brant James McBrant.
Oh, really? Okay,
that sounds right.
James McBrant.
Check it out.
Have a James McBride. That's not him.
McBride? It could be. It's not
McBrantley? McBrantley?
Maybe. I mean, if you look up...
yeah, he looks like a mobster. This Irish-American gangster, yeah.
He's a cop.
Oh, okay. Let me take a look here. Let me click on it. They say this person's tied to the Gambino crime.
James, I think it's Brant, B-R-A-N-D-T. If you look up, who's the cop that busted Tommy Karate or whatever, he was studying him. The whole book was from him, The Butcher, from him trailing and investigating this fucking vampire. Tommy Karate loved killing people, torturing them, killing them, cutting them up, and then putting their body parts like in suitcases, and then they would bury them at the bird sanctuary at Staten Island. And so when someone finally flipped and turned on him, they had to go to that sanctuary and do a lot of digging and find all these bodies and shit.
Holy shit.
Tommy's still alive in jail, too.
He's still alive?
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy crap! My goodness, man, I got to do some more research. Yeah, I'm excited. I bought that book now. Holy crap!
Cool. Double cross. You like it?
Yeah, I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. YouTube Chris was also from Steubenville. That's true.
YouTube Chris was what?
He's from Steubenville too, where Dean was born.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, how about that?
Steubenville, Ohio. Yeah, man. Fucking Cleveland mobsters were their own thing. If Danny Green, Kill an Irishman, To Kill the Irishman. That's a really good movie about Danny Green, who was in Cleveland in the 70s fighting the Italian mob. And it was the years of the bomb. They used car bombs everywhere, blew cars up, blew Danny's house up.
Holy shit.
While he was in it, and he was fine.
He was fine?
Yeah, he got a reputation for being indestructible, and he was a badass. He could fight, and so when his house was blown up, I guess he sat there in the empty lot in a chair, so saying, "I'm not a hard man to find. If somebody wants me, I'm right here."
Would that be like a dream movie role, as to be in a mafia movie for you?
I don't know. I don't really do a lot of fantasizing about stuff like that. It's weird. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. The only if I had what I would call a fantasy part to play, it would be a character that I wrote, because then I know that I understand the character more than anybody else. I know exactly why he says everything that he's saying and what he's thinking, and that's something that may or may not happen. I used to go crazy, like I need this to happen, but I wrote some comics a long time ago, self-published 1,000 books or so, and then probably no one but that. Not very many people have seen the finished products, but it was something that always lived in my heart and in my brain. It was a passion project, and really, I remember like the reason that I wrote it was I needed there to be something we could do about the totally cold, empathetic monsters in the world. And I feel like I was being exposed to it, at least really paying attention to it for the first time, watching America's Most Wanted. And here's this little girl, fucking 7 years old or whatever, and this monster kidnaps her, rapes her, and then kills her just so he doesn't get caught. He wants to get away with the crime, so he destroys the girl's life and her family's life and everything. I just remember, like, I was so affected by this one particular story, and I was thinking, these monsters could be right behind us at the red light, could be in front of us in line at the grocery store. We have no idea. Like, we have no way of knowing, and it seems like we should be able to know. And so I had a character that would know that, and then he had to deal with with that. You got to deal with that obligation. He's not a Superman or Batman. He's a regular guy. And now that you know this about this person, what are you going to do? And he gets himself into trouble and shit. And I had a lot of fun with it. And it got opted to do a movie in 2016. And that time ran out. I drank 2016 away. And basically it's something that could happen or could not. Just like a lot of my projects, I don't care anymore. I'm more happy with just like the story is whatever it is. If my story is I wrote half of this and 3/4 of this and 10% of this and it never got finished, hey, I'm all right with that. Before, too much passion, that would have killed me. Like, I gotta get this out. I gotta share this. I know people are going to be able to relate. And now it's not, nothing's like that anymore now. You know what I mean? It's like, shit, life is short. And then boom, once it's over, you're not really probably worried anymore about what you got done and what you didn't get done.
Yeah.
If you're worried about your name carrying on and people talking good about you, and you're worried about, or not worried about, but concerned about leaving stuff on, then that's a great thing to do and a great source of inspiration. So do it. Do what you're going to do, and don't drive yourself crazy about stuff that you might not be getting to, even though you wish your priorities were different than they really are.
Yeah,
they are what they are.
They are what they are, exactly. We talked about that a little bit last week too, and that sounds like a great screenplay, though, Rob. I fucking love that idea of a character. Some cool shit.
So like just like most ideas, when you have something that you think is original for too long, eventually it becomes not that original.
Yeah.
And eventually, I did see a movie that was very similar to the main drive, the content, and it was Unbreakable with Robert De Niro. I was like, fuck, kind of took my idea, kind of went a different way with it, and he's definitely a different character than mine and everything, but same thing though. That's Robert De Niro. He's got this information now. He feels obligated. He can't let this fucking guy just walk out of his life knowing he's got fucking little kids tied up in his basement. He's got to do something, right?
Yeah, right. But you're just
got no evidence. There's no evidence. You can't just say I saw it in my brain.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fucking cool though. People are wondering, hey, I thought this was Kurt Angle's channel, or am I mistaken? What this is the one. If you're watching on One True Sport, that's the new channel. That's what Kurt Angle used to have. Now it's a whole big network. And then we're also on Rob's RVD's channel too. So go at the Real RVD and check that out there too. Hey, we got a super chat, guys. If you definitely want your question answered, use the super chat. We thank Voodoo Vic, who's a regular here. Booker T mentioned that he started saying "shoop" because of your guys' phone calls, and I was curious: is that where it originated from? Shoop.
So, if Booker T said that, which I believe, it's because of something that I would always say at the end of my phone calls. But Booker, and I have one or two other friends too, actually mishear what I'm saying. So I got it, and Dango and Andy got it from Tom Bennett, the wrestler that introduced me to the Sheik. When I was bagging groceries, this big 300-pound power lifter came through Main Street Market, struck up a conversation. He ended up taking me to the original Sheik, and I tried out and ended up being a student and going to his school. So Tom was a good friend of ours, and he had this thing where he would say goodbye by saying "see ya," and he really went out of his way to teach us that. Like, we're younger than him, and he had a really raspy voice. He'd be like, "No, like with your gut, you got to say it with your diaphragm. Say it, see ya. Shoot. And so until recently, probably because no one's alive anymore, that that's on the inside of that. But Tom's alive. But Andy's alive too. But anyway, I did that for years. That was just me. So I'd be like, all right, Dom, all right, cool. Then we'll talk again next week. All right, cool. Shoot. And then you say shoot. Boom. And Book, to him, it sounded like I was saying shoot. And like I said, I have a couple other friends too. And I knew that they misunderstood because they would type the word out. Oh, and it was funny because I'm like, they don't know that I'm saying see ya. And they type back like, what was it? I can't remember what it was. Something similar to shoot anyway. So that's where that came from. Shoot. that was our goodbye. And I remember when I was in high school, the group of kids that was like a grade or two ahead of us that were cool kids I looked up to. They were wrestlers. Andy Robus was, he was the biggest dude in school. I don't know why he was so jacked, like a bodybuilder. And Mike Clothier was a big, probably 300-pound high school wrestler. And I remember Dango telling me, because he hung out with them, and I liked it. They would have their very similar sign off. They would say, "Okay, bye," and they would say like this: "It's like, okay, bye, okay, bye." goodbye. And like we liked that, and then Tom started. We started hanging out with Tom probably right around then, and he was like, "Shoot, shoot."
I'll have to work on that.
Someone that types it, they either said skeet or something like that. They would write, I'm like, I get what they're trying to do.
I understand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fucking great.
And you know what's funny is I don't do it anymore. But every once in a while, I'll talk to somebody that I don't talk to that often that I used to talk to when I did that. So at the end, I'd be like, all right, cool, man. I'll see you. All right, bye. And then right when I'm hanging up, I hear them go, "Shoot," and then I didn't do it back. And they tried to do my thing to me to have that bonding moment. And I totally raked their eyes and hung up on them. I didn't expect that.
Man, that's so funny. It comes from your younger days, and you brought it over into wrestling. It's so funny.
Yeah. I did it for a long time. Yeah. Probably in my 30s, maybe 40s, maybe.
Man, bring it back. Let's get it across all the locker rooms again. James Western chimes in. He says Rob Van De Niro. It's pretty funny. Rob Van De Niro.
Yeah, not bad.
Rob Van De Niro. That's almost hard. That's hard to say. Rob Van De Niro. I'm saying it right.
He's having an online feud right now with the Joey Merlino from Philly. Because Joey Merlino's a big Trump guy, and I guess Robert De Niro's
big anti-Trump.
Yeah.
They're butting heads.
There's videos like putting them two against each other, and Robert was quoted saying, "I'd like to punch him in his face." I don't know for sure that he was talking about Joey, but Joey was responding to that when he said, "I'd smack him across his face so fast," or something to that effect. So
I love online things like that for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's my guilty pleasure, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Robert's a great Mafia actor. Most of those guys grew up in those neighborhoods with all those guys and stuff, and that's why they understand the characters so well.
Yeah. Oh, he's so good. If he's in a Mafia movie, I'm going to tune into it. I like him as a cop. I like him as a Mafia guy. He's great.
He's a great actor.
I love him. Speaking of stuff, entertainment. What's up, RVD? Looking forward to your A&E biography coming up. That's June 23rd, right, Rob? Am I mistaken?
Yes, sir. It is June 23rd. And I will be in Jackson, Mississippi at a signing. I think it's a comic book convention, I believe. But I'm going to look ahead and see where am I going to watch that shit? Because maybe I could do some kind of viewing party or something.
A fun watch-along.
Yeah, I'll watch it with some of the local Van Dam fam in Mississippi.
They don't on your website. It doesn't say what venue it is, but it does say Jackson, Mississippi. So
yeah, I don't have a poster for it yet. I need one. Something for me to do this week.
Yeah,
I'm writing that down.
Let's see. We got some good questions here. Well, it's not a question. It's just a statement. RVD Jim Redick says RVD would make a terrific teacher if you taught school. I'd take 1,000 school grades, no joke. How do you think you'd be?
1,000 school grades.
100 school grades. So you go through 100 years of for you.
Oh, so you have me every year?
So you'd have you every year. I guess you'd be his homeroom teacher, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. That's homeschool. It's just me and him. We're doing it. He's got 98 years to go, but he's doing good.
He's doing good. Yeah. Kind of an average student, but he's getting there. Yeah. If you had to teach a subject, Rob, what would you teach?
That is a good question. I don't know, and I don't know that I consider myself a good teacher. We've talked about that before.
Yes.
I don't think that I have a lot of patience for redundancy that is obviously obstructing the way from moving forward. And so that gets to me, like, hey, I told you not to do, or that's not the answer. Why do you keep going back to there? And, you know, like when it came to teaching wrestling, you know, I don't know. I would teach carny.
There you go.
I would teach carny. You don't know what that is. I can tell by your expression, but this is something that wrestlers used to speak.
Yes.
Right. And you know who taught me? Tom, the same guy that taught me See Ya. Yep. So this is like 89 when I'm hanging out with him and started going to schooling with the Sheik. 89, 90. For several years, we were friends, but he taught me and Dango carny. He knew it because his mom and dad spoke it around him.
They were wrestlers?
They weren't even wrestlers. They just, I don't know, but people at the carnival will speak it too. So you don't have to be a wrestler. And
It's literally carny. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's where it comes from. And it would be like, it's like Pig Latin. If you don't know what it sounds like, all you do is take one syllable, the dominant vowel, and you put a certain sound in there, and it sounds like ias, and we would do every syllable because then you can't understand it. And that's the way that we were taught. So I could speak it fluently like this, even though I haven't had any reason to in decades. I'm sure if I wanted to and start talking like it, I could just do it in my mind. He's like these is. So he's like he's a tizok, he's in kizarnizi, he's all these tizam, he's in dizan gizo, he's in izandizi, he's in tizam, he's always a tizok, he's like this. And you don't want anyone else to understand you, you know. But a lot of wrestlers would only do like one syllable, and they think like I'll never forget. I was in Charlotte with the rednecks, the Southerners, and this is gonna sound racist because it was, but I just remember we were somewhere where there was a lot of black people in the community, and one of the wrestlers thought that he was actually somehow speaking code or being secretive, and he said, "Man, look at all the neoziggers around here." And I was just like, oh my God, what an idiot. Like I couldn't, you know, and that was my impression of the rednecks down south, you know, and their love for humanity and their intelligence level too. Not everybody, but a lot of them, especially when I was first exposed to that. And I was like,
oh my God.
You're not kayfabing at all. Everyone in here just heard your racist fucking mouth.
Said it. You just
you deserve it, bro.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I would teach carny.
Oh man,
I speak Spanish fairly fluently.
You said you speak Spanish?
Yo hablo español también. Yo puedo decir, hace que yo quiero decir es más mejor que yo puedo comprender escuchando.
Oh,
yeah.
I did not know that, Rob.
Yeah, but I had I had 4 years, 3.5 years in school, and it was like my favorite class. So for the same reason, me and Dango could speak and no one knew what we were talking about. So we were all into the extra credit and stuff. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. And then when I first started meeting like some Spanish speaking girls in Japan, I was in another country and neither one of us spoke English, but I could speak Spanish. I was like, yes, thank you, Mrs. Philo.
So that stuck with you.
Gracias.
That stuck with you. I heard if you learn a language and you're fluent in it and you don't use it for a while, you lose it. Is that not true then? It stuck with you? I guess not for you.
I think it just really depends on how important it is to you and how much you're drawn to it, you know?
Yeah.
All the Mafia stuff, that's like candy to my brain. Like I soak it up, and I love dates and facts and numbers and stuff. For a lot of other people, you know, that would be like the last thing they'd remember because it wouldn't be as important to them. So they don't store it in the same place in their head, you know. Yeah. I sucked at algebra. I sucked at history.
Awful, man. Awful, man. I was all right at history, I guess.
I didn't know it was real back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know it really had anything to do with my life.
You're right. Know? Yeah, right. Now all I envision you, Rob, is like as a teacher, I have it like you have glasses on and you walk in and you just start speaking carny, like right when you're writing on the chalkboard as you're doing it. That's all I'm imagining. And then you like turn around. All right, class, let's get to work.
There's a few subjects. I guess our radiology would have to be up there teaching.
That's a college course, I think.
Right, and ain't nobody better qualified than myself to share the principles of that with the good students.
Yes, I agree with that. For sure. We got a lot of members from the One True Sport base in here. David Von Boglin, who asked you about the Kratom before. Zoe Lopez is in the house. Liam Evans is here. We got a good turnout here. Let's see what other good questions you got. I have seen a couple of them here. Okay, you've talked about him before, but let's see if you have another story, maybe potentially. Bo 94 Rock Band. Any great moments with the wrestler Test from the ECW days? You told the one story about him and Kelly the one time and how you almost had to, I don't know, he to play mediator between him and like CM Punk or something, right? Or something like that.
Yeah. That was an overseas trip. I remember in Japan when we were in Hiroshima, we went to the site of the bomb. Myself, Tess, and Stacy, and Mike Kyoto. There was someone else there too. I can't remember who else. But that was pretty gruesome, and I felt really low, and I felt not liked, being an American walking around there. There's like shadows of people imprinted on the walls, like from the radiation. It's just crazy. Like we fucked their whole world up so bad, and not we, but I figure that's probably how they see it. And I did also deal with a lot of racism when I first started going to Japan in the early 90s. And I understood it. Here's a story that that I think is funny about Tess. We're overseas. We come back. For some reason, I think we're in Oregon, Portland, Oregon. But we have been same group, basically, I guess I hung out with them, or maybe it was right around the same time. Maybe I hung out with them during these weeks. But I remember everyone was like hungry. We hadn't eaten in so long. We couldn't wait, to get to the hotel so we could be freed off of our bus, and then we could go and find something. We were so hungry, and we did. We got from the airport to the bus, got to the hotel, all this, and Stacy, who was dating Tess at the time, said she was going up to take a shower. And Tess, me, Kyoto, whoever else was there, I think maybe Sabu. But anyway, we're going to look for something to eat. We're going to find something cool. We go to Subway. I love Subway, personally. I'm a big fan. And Tess goes to order, and he says, I'm going to get 2 sandwiches. He always talked grumpy, like even when he wasn't, at people. Two. Can I get a turkey and whatever? And I was like, oh, that's nice. You're getting Stacy a sandwich too, huh? And he goes, I guess I should, huh? All right, make it 3. Never even crossed his mind.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And here she goes and dates George Clooney then later on.
Right.
Yeah.
She did all right.
She's all right. Now a WWE Hall of Famer too with you. So.
He fed her well.
He did, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's just like to eat.
Yes. From Baltimore.
You gotta feed him.
Gotta feed him. David Von Boglin gives us $10. He just says, big props, RVD, Dom, and all the One True Sport crew. I'm happy for all you guys getting this new venture going. No question, just offering my support on anything you guys need to help make this thing awesome. Thanks, David. Appreciate it, man.
Awesome. Appreciate it, David.
You're
Right on, man. Hope you're enjoying the show.
Yeah.
We're just just on here bullshitting. Sometimes we have a guest, sometimes we don't. Katie wants to be a guest. I don't know if it's next week or the week after, but coming up, she wants to sit in and be a full-time or, full actual for the whole show.
Let's do it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to her about roller derby and stuff.
She got some things. She just took a fight. Was it today or yesterday? Yesterday. Happened so quick, but a promotional boxing match here in Las Vegas. Really? And it seems like it's going to be a really big event with a lot of people there and special people. Mike Tyson's the Redwood, which is a company that grows business. Yeah, they grow his pod and they're sponsors of this. Doesn't mean he's going to be there. He may or may not. She's going to be, I guess maybe I shouldn't be saying this yet, but I don't know. Cause they're going to make an announcement. It's a month away. I don't want to blow anything if they're, but anyway,
I'm in black memorized.
She's going to be boxing a celebrity woman and they got really big, cool plans, and it's in a really cool place. That's a marijuana dispensary that went fucking big time recently. So New Woo is just across the line from Las Vegas to North Las Vegas, but it's still like downtown and then Indian land, and they just kept growing and growing since I first started going there. Really big place anyway. But the owner is telling me, we're going to take those grounds and put this big building there and all this. And they did it. And now it's at this huge venue where they have outdoor activities there and like food going on. And like they have like press boxes for like VIPs for these events and stuff. And I went to something there. I don't know if it was New Year's or something very festive like that. And that was the only time I'd seen it since they made it so big. What was I doing there? I think I don't know. Now that I think about it, maybe it was an appearance or something. But anyway, New Woo, they can do what others cannot because they're on the Indian reservation and they're so huge and what a cool place. And I'm looking forward to going there. So I'm glad that's holding the event.
Oh man, that sounds great. Man. Yeah, we'll have to.
They've been the only place for a long time that's had a smoking lounge in Vegas.
No shit.
Because of them, because of what makes them different, like I said. But so for a long time in Las Vegas, there's been a problem for tourists that can come and buy weed on any corner, but not be able to smoke it in their hotel rooms or anywhere designated for them. So that's something that since I've moved here, that's been an issue on the table, trying to work out, trying to open up more, deciding if they're going to grant the licenses or not and based on what. But New Woo has always had it. They've always been ahead of the game. They do a lot of really cool stuff up there. I did a podcast. I don't know what it's called or I tell you, but and it's definitely worth checking out if you're in Las Vegas. New Woo, NUWU.
Okay, I'm gonna be in Vegas August 13th through the 17th. I think it's that time, so I'll have to check it out.
Awesome. What are you doing here? Summer sun?
My buddy is gonna just he wants to go, and he was like, "Hey, you want to go with me to Vegas?" I was like, "Sure, I'll go to Vegas." So we're just making a plan to go.
Okay, cool.
So I'll be hanging out. So yeah, I'll mark it down to do some stuff like that for
sure. Yeah. Sounds good, dude.
Heck yeah, brother. I was hoping it was going to be the same time Cauliflower Alley was going on, but that's actually the week after. It's actually the week after that's going to go down. So I'm going to
close, but no cigar. Huh?
No cigar, but maybe some New Woo.
Yeah, definitely. I recommend it, and you can see the RVD autographed weed championship belt that they have in a nice frame, like a hard rock style.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. Okay, I'm making it. Adding it to the little listy.
Taking a Viva Zen shot. Talking to maybe 3 different kratom companies right now So
nice.
something's going to move forward. I'm going to be having something that hopefully I'll put my name on it, which is what I want to do, have a brand. But either way, have something accessible that I know I can get behind and help people out with.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That Viva Zen stuff's pretty good.
Katie loves it, so this is the only way that she takes kratom now.
Yeah.
There's something like this called Kratomade.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference between this and Kratomade, to be completely honest, Kratomade tastes good. I don't want to say anything bad. I just want to say that.
Yes.
To be honest, this might be hard for some people. It's like I don't even know how to describe it, but I wouldn't say delicious.
Just something you do that helps you.
But it's way easier than the powder. Like when I take the powder, even though I do it just about every day, I still like sometimes almost gag and like I get it all over my face and shirt every time, and I'm such a mess. I'm a mess. Like there's some things that never have changed about me. I probably drop probably about 6 things a day, but I catch about 4 of them. So I feel like a ninja doing that all day. Hey, I saved it. But even when I do that, if it's like with a glass of liquid, it's still going to splash everywhere, even though I caught it. And
Even though you caught it, yeah.
I've always done that, like graceful in the ring, but clumsy outside the ring. And I used to, every morning before school, when I'm in elementary school, young kid, and middle school, my mom would have the orange juice poured and vitamin C and a multiple vitamin. And then when I would wake up, I would sit down. That'd be waiting for me with my bowl and shit. And I just have to pour my own cereal, I guess. But I would knock my orange juice over every fucking day. And my dad, after a while, I think he thought I was doing it on purpose. I don't know. But he did what? I'm outing him here. Hey, you did this, Dad. You did this. You know you did. But
You got it.
he used to palm thrust me in my fucking forehead when I'd go, whoops, and he'd go like, bam. He'd hit me with a palm strike. Fucking knock me silly. And that was shit that parents used to be able to do to kids, but every fucking morning. And then my mom would be like, he didn't mean to do it. He's like, oh, bullshit. He does that every day. And then I learned at school that there's an awkward phase where you're growing and you're not used to your arms being quite as long or your fingers or whatever. And so I thought maybe that was it, but it's never stopped.
It didn't stop. The growth spurt didn't help you or nothing.
Right. I got a flat forehead from it.
That's it.
And he probably started my concussions at an early age. Thanks, Dad. But
Thanks, Ops.
yeah.
I unfortunately didn't get to experience any of that.
This is the reason my asshole ex-partner, Justin, who was ripping off RVD CBD, because he knew this and he would be over here and see me spilling shit all the time. He got me this Yeti, which has a gimmick that you can close for that reason. So when I knock it over, sometimes the drink will stay in.
Sometimes it does.
That's totally the reason I got this. He got it for me as a gift. Yeah. I did it in front of him, every time he'd be over here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get where my dad thinks I must not care enough to learn not to do it. If it was important enough, then maybe I would make a special effort and not knock it over. I don't know. I mean, I kind of get where he could think that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a klutz too, so I have no excuse. I can't say anything. I drop shit. I trip over stuff. I run into walls. I'm an idiot.
My knuckles are always bleeding, but so are his. He had that too. We bang ourselves up and have no idea how we did it.
Yeah, it happens to me. I look and I'm like, oh, I'm bleeding. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
What's going on?
It's not just my forehead.
Jeb the Don just says, thanks for all the great energy. You guys are the best. Thanks, Jeb the Don.
Sweet. Thanks, Jem. Jem, that's a cool name.
You're a Jem.
I don't know anybody named Jem.
Yeah.
I like that. You say Jim? No, Jem. Oh.
Ooh,
that's cool.
Seth's got a good one coming up here. RVD, thanks for the $10, Seth. He says
Contributing like always. Appreciate
Right,
you, dude.
RVD, can you do an RVDology on grief and regret someday? Moving past tragedies, some which were your own fault, and that ship sailed for good. Thanks.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Upon your request, we'll do that next week.
I like it. Cool.
I have I have a whole thing on regret, and I don't know. I feel like I've talked about it on some platform, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, regret is hard, and I tell you, like self forgiveness. Sometimes, if you don't do it, you just hold on to punishing yourself for your whole life over being an asshole when you were a kid. And you really gotta take into account. It's more important who you're becoming than who you were, because you're moving in the right direction. But that's, a lot of regrets are from, like, damn, I wish I would have made this other decision, but I wish I would have turned left instead of turning right, and that wouldn't have all happened. But obviously, most of that is an unhealthy way to think, because there's not an answer for you. It's not productive. You're not going to be able to go back and solve and fix what already happened, but you can give yourself a break. And I sometimes myself have to tell myself that, which is why I can relate so much to talking about that very subject.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man, it should be a good one then. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
That's always a good lesson. Everybody deals with regret, and it's tough to deal with sometimes, and tough to handle to wade through those waters. Meltman says RVD should fight a guy in a glass of orange juice costume. See, he wants you to fight somebody that's dressed up as a glass of orange juice.
Now, why do you think he would say that? You try and make sense out of that.
Because you drop the orange juice all the time, so maybe he wants you to physically drop the orange juice. A human glass of orange juice. Of course, you're right.
I forgot that I even said that, and trying to make sense. The way that my brain computed that was that I assume I probably said it on here. I don't know, but you don't want to assume, because that makes an asshole out of both of us. I was thinking though, like mimosas were my drink for a long time, and then I started avoiding all the added sugar, and then I started just saying, can I get a mimosa without the orange juice, which is just champagne?
Yeah.
And I thought this was related to that story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many glasses of champagne I've dropped too. Like, oh my God, reaching over the table, especially when it spills on other people, girls in the dresses and shit, and it's like, I'm an idiot. I'm stupid.
Is that still your drink of choice, Rob? Champagne?
Not. I haven't really been drinking that much lately because I haven't been traveling. Like, I guess I do most of my drinking at the airports and airplane. But the last few times, 2 or 3 times that I drank beer.
Oh,
so maybe it's because it's hotter out now. I don't know. It was 111 degrees today, by the way.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously.
111. Yes, sir. That's what the thermometer told me. But yeah, sometimes just beer sounds really good. But when I was just drinking champagne, it was so much lighter because the beer can fill me up quick. Fill my gut up really quick. But then, I guess those 2 right now. Or 3, because I also like Irish coffee.
Oh man,
I like Jameson and the fucking
Baileys.
Yeah, and depending on where you go, sometimes they automatically do that. Sometimes they do one or the other. And when I travel around, I find that, so I always check, with it. But yeah, it was at WrestleMania last year. Well, it was 23 in LA.
Yep, LA.
That's when I was really starting to that's when that all became like part of my habit. And then like for a year, like I was just drinking mostly champagne. But I remember somebody at the bar saying, Rob, are you drinking coffee and orange juice? because I was keeping up with him, like all night. It's like 1 a.m, and I'm wide awake still, drinking coffee, Irish coffee, and I think I'm emotional, but and everyone else is like, everyone else is fading and shit, and I'm like, no, I feel good.
I'm good to
go. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, I need to get some Jameson or some whiskey and make some Irish coffee. I think that's gonna be on my list this weekend.
Rum chata is really good too. Because I try to avoid the extra sugar, I found a recipe for rum chata, and I make that at home a lot of times with some Captain Morgan spice, and you put like cream, whipped cream, not the same thing as whipped cream.
Yes.
It's whipped, no sugar in that, very little in the Morgans, and then nutmeg, some vanilla sweetener drops, stevia, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Cinnamon. And anyway, it's not as good, but it doesn't have the sugar. So
it doesn't have the sugar.
Otherwise, just buy a bottle of rum chata. That's good.
Here's a question, Rob. Do you drink your coffee black? Do you have cream? Do you put sugar in it? What do you do?
If I'm not putting alcohol in it, then I'll drink it black.
You drink it black? Yeah. I do a touch of skim milk. That's it. If anything.
I've only been able to do that for like the last year or so.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I developed a taste for, and it was Death Wish coffee that actually I started enjoying. Scotty Riggs turned me onto it, and it's got like twice the caffeine, and for some reason, every time I would try a black coffee before, because I'd try to force myself every once in a while, let me see if my taste had changed, but I was always like, whoa, no, it's not for me, and now I like it.
I love it. Yeah, I really got hooked on it. Speaking of Scotty Riggs, did you see him? He showed up in MLW.
No.
He was in the Battle Riot, the big Battle Royal Rumble thing they have.
Oh, no shit. In the match? That's awesome.
He got in the match. Yes, he who did he go up against? He went up against Minoru Suzuki. He got beat up by Minoru. It was great. It was a great scene. It was what a surprise it was. He came out to the American males. It was awesome. So
that's fucking inspiring. That guy was like not even able to move very well, like balled up in the seat of his car, living with a bunch of cats.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it seems like a year ago.
It was about we had him on the show. We did a live show with him one time. He was
awesome.
Yeah. So it was awesome. That warmed my heart to see him. I was really happy. I was like, I popped big time when I saw him. So
yes,
good for Scotty. Let's see. Somebody had a good question about weed here. I want to make sure I find it. Let's see. It's by Jim. Where are you, Jim? Here it is. You're a weed guru, Rob. What do you recommend I give my elderly mother to help her sleep? CBN, CBG, CBD? Thanks.
I would say, if you're able to get the different cannabinoids like that CBD, CBN, I wouldn't expect CBG to help her that much, but everybody gets, different results, and CBG is like adaptive. Maybe it can help one of the other cannabinoids strengths, but if she won't take THC, but that's one thing that CBD is really good for. Like tell her to drop it under her tongue and to hold it there for at least 30 seconds, because like people that don't do that, they're ripping themselves off from being able to get the best experience, because we have a little trap door under our tongue. That's why there's so much sublingual shit, and it sneaks you like right into your bloodstream. So that's why you do that, because if you swallow it, it's got to go through your fucking digestive parts, your liver, all that shit get metabolized. And then by that point, what's left of what you took anyway? So you put it under your tongue, boom, it gets absorbed quicker and at a stronger rate of absorption, consumption. And I would say CBD for sure. I had good results sleeping with CBN if that's something that as well, but I would say CBD for sure.
All right, yeah.
Sublingual drops. I think, I mean, a lot of people like to eat the gummies or whatever, and basically whatever it takes to get her to take it. But I think that the sublingual oil works the best.
There you go. There you go, Jim. Let her know. Help her out. RJ's adding about the regret thing. He says, that's awesome, referring to you doing an RVDology on regret, because I just lost my mom nearly a year ago, and I have so many questions about others and their regrets. She was the last of my family. So stay tuned, RJ. We'll help you out here. Rob,
cool. Yeah, you know what? I'm looking forward to doing that. And I could just go off and share right now, but I'd like to try to think of a story or two that that I can bring up from maybe my timeline, like the real RVDology episodes, the standalone episodes that I always keep saying that I keep threatening that I'm going to do like some week, and that is one of them that I planned on doing. So that's cool. Fresh Take says he tunes in for the RVDology, so
yeah,
appreciate that.
Heck yeah. I think it's
Ain't nobody else doing that, are they?
Nope. You're not getting a little bit of advice at the
end.
Better
not be.
That's it. They're also just calling it RVDology too. They're not.
Right.
Time for some RVDology, guys.
Kevin Nash was like, "No, I made up RVDology."
That's me. I'm doing it. Let me see. There was a good wrestling question. I think it's here. I find it.
Yeah, Sabu's interested, by the way.
Is he? Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to connect with them then and give them some information about it. Cool. Guys, what we're talking about too is One True Sport. Hey, Rob's got a t-shirt on there. I guess I should plug it. Here it is. Take a look. I'm going to pull up the shop. You go to onetruesport.com and you will see the t-shirt there. It is one of the deluxe t-shirts we have. We only do a few of them. But here you go. It's a Mr. Monday Night shirt. You go to onetruesport.com and go check out the shirts. Go to the collections, and there it is. You can get Mr. Monday Night. We designed this. This is for a new brand and everything like that. It runs from small to 5XL, so you got some options, guys.
I want to see the motherfucker wearing that 5XL too.
Wear that. I'll buy it. I'll wear the 5XL. And
take a picture. I gotta see it.
Arm sleeve. I'll fit in the arm sleeve of one. That's what we'll do. But guys, yeah, check it out. Go to onetruesport.com. You got an RVD shirt on there. We got a lot of other merchandise. We're the exclusive home of the Four Horsemen brand too. So the trademark there. So be sure to check it out. We got some good stuff cooking. Additionally, speaking of other things that Rob has going on, is RVD420.com. He's got some good bongs here that is some really nice style ones. They're made by. Is that
RVD420.com?
Yes, I believe so. Let me make sure.
GG in there?
I don't think so. RVD.
I thought that was what you had. No, you have RVD TV.
I have RVDTV.com. That's where you can watch the full episodes every Monday at 4:20 p.m. Yeah, RVD Glass. Here, I'll pull that up on here too. Now that I'm fluent in bringing up the stage here. So, guys, check out this site, RVD420.com. It's by the Greek Glass guys. They're based out of Pittsburgh too, not my hometown, but my stomping grounds. RVD Glass. Check these out. There's 3 featured ones. The Van Terminator collectible, which is the black and white one. This is my favorite one, the Invasion one. And that is very, very cool looking. Classic RVD attire. And then the Electric Zen. So check those out, guys. Go to RVD420.com. And speaking of, we have another sponsor of our usual ilk. It is Get Blitzed. Get Blitzed, guys. Go to get-blitz.com. You get 15% off. You can use promo code RVD. It's Delta 9. It's THC, Get Blitzed THC Lit, a nano-infused. It is 100% legal in all 50 states. Guys, I got a blue raspberry sitting in my kitchen cabinet. I have been afraid to use by myself because I know how I am on THC. So I've been waiting it out till I have somebody that I trust with me. So once that happens, I'm excited to take it. And there's plenty of other flavors from like tiger's blood. I don't know what that tastes like. You got blue raspberry. You got key lime pie. That's Kevin Nash's favorite. And then you also have cherry, I know as well. Pina colada too. So go to get-blitz.com, promo code RVD, or use that QR code that you see on the screen and get 15% off Delta 9. It's by Mickey Ray Sinatra and Courtney out of Maryland. So, guys, thank you for that. And yeah, so Rob, let me see if there's any.
Can I tell you that one of the kratom companies that I'm talking to said that they do a kratom for Ric Flair.
Really?
Who knows? Yeah, who's ever heard of Ric Flair kratom?
I have not heard Ric Flair kratom.
What sense does that make? He don't know what the fuck kratom is.
I don't give a shit.
He don't even know what weed is. And
He's become like this big hip hop kind of icon, and now he's got his own weed strand too, or something. I guess I'm looking here now. What is this? I am overage. I'm over 21. Oh, here it is, Rob. Here, I'm gonna pull it up.
The kratom or the weed?
The kratom. So hold on.
Okay.
Kratom. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm like, what sense is that? I'm like, I mean, that's hey, we can put our names on anything, but it's just like
he had wings earlier too. Woo, wings. So if he had chicken wings, he was selling too. Look at this, Rob. Kratom capsules.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. All right.
Anything?
Well, this company we could possibly be doing something with too. So, yeah. So let's just keep it there at that. But holy cow, though, that's like Rob Van Dam's fur coats.
That's it. Alligator shoes. Rob Van Dam's alligator shoes.
Yeah. Right.
Jeez. Hey, Jim Redick is taking a weed break. Something I've never done before, but I'm on week 3 and looking forward to getting high again. What strains can you recommend I get back into it? If he's been taking a weed break. Oh, he's taking a weed break, but he's on week 3 and looking forward to getting high again. What strains, if he's getting back onto it, would you recommend him to ease himself into? Maybe, Rob?
I would say we're gonna start out with some sour diesel.
Oh, okay.
Enjoy that.
And
Also get some blueberry OG Kush, and welcome back.
Welcome back to the club then.
It says on here from Triple E. I see this request. Do I have any Umaga stories? So let me just.
Yeah, that's the wrestling question I was looking for.
Man, I loved Umaga. He was my favorite Samoan. I loved the way that he worked. I thought that he got it. Like he was one of the big Samoans, but he stood out by being different. Like the moves that he did. I don't know if he made it up, but I didn't see anybody else before him throw the guy up and then catch him into the Samoan drop. So to me, that was his special move that made him an extreme Samoan. Besides the fact, that he could move and he did moves that other Samoans did. In other words, you're Samoan, that's your gimmick, you're all set if that's all you want to go with. He brought a lot extra to the table, to the ring, and I really liked him a lot, got along with him really well. And one time, I don't know who my partner was, but we had a match with Umaga and Rosie, and Umaga did this spin kick. I think it was Booker T. I remember me and Booker T were laughing at him, but he did a spin kick and he hit the guy. Maybe it was me. Whoever he hit them like way down by their feet. And we just thought it was like the funniest thing ever. He might have even been trying to do a leg sweep. I don't know, but it looked like he was trying to do a spin kick like I would do, but it ended up like so low it was like awkward to sell. And afterwards, you're like, dude, what are you doing, man? You can't just go and try to do a spin kick when you haven't done one since you're 12 years old in the middle of a fucking match. And we were making fun of him for it. And he was really humble, laughing. And at that time, the Red Hot Chili Peppers song was popular. So I changed the words to make fun of him more. And I'll always think of Umaga whenever I hear "Can't Stop Addicted to the Shin Kick." Because I used to like saying that to him.
Can't stop addicted to the shin kick. Great. Yeah, I found the question. It was Triple E. He has when Umaga caught Rob Van Dam by the throat after a 5-star frog splash and giving him a Samoan spike for the win on WWE Raw. So April 30th. Do you remember that, Rob? Did you rehearse with Umaga beforehand, or was it all just called during the match?
I don't recall, but most likely we didn't.
You didn't rehearse.
We didn't have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Umaga was also in my only match with the McMahons, so that goes down as a memorable night for me. 3 against 1, Vince McMahon, Shano, and Umaga against RVD.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I held my own, man, but they cheated.
Darn.
But I thought that was really cool, though. I thought it was a cool match. I enjoyed shining and working with that, and it was cool, to say that I worked with Vince.
How was it working with Vince in the ring?
I mean, it was. I really don't remember, but it wasn't. But I mean, I think that he would just come in, when I was already down, come in, give me a couple boots and tag out or something like that.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I did want to get to you if we don't have any super chats here. We don't. Oh, Jem the Don says Umaga and RVD would be a crazy tag team. Heck yeah.
That would be awesome.
That'd be pretty badass. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Love that dude.
Man, I always heard good things about him. Always heard good things.
And his son is wrestling now, right?
Is his son?
Is he or no?
Umaga.
I guess I thought I was going to get a different response. I thought you were going to say,
Zilla.
hey,
You're right. Zilla Fatu. You're correct.
Okay.
Zilla Fatu. Yeah, he's one of the. How about that? Fatu and his wife had 4 children. Yeah, there we go. Wow. Cool. Let me see. Oh yeah. So can I pull this up? Let's see here. It is the anniversary today, June 6th. If you're watching live, it's the anniversary of WrestlePalooza 1997. And what happened at 20 years? Well, not 20 years ago. It would have been longer than that. It was at the ECW Arena in Philly. Highlights event played on Hardcore TV later on. But you happened to interfere at the end of Tommy Dreamer and Raven's match in a loser leaves town match. You and Sabu attacked Dreamer at the end of the match with Jerry Lawler. So this was during your WWE Invasion days, it sounds like. But Raven left after that for WCW. And then Taz defeated Shane Douglas to win the ECW World Championship. Do you have any good memories of that pay-per-view, or is that just one of the kind of the highlight of ECW, right in the thick of the action there?
Yeah, I guess it was 97.
Yeah.
So we interfered in Sabu and Raven's match.
Tommy Dreamer and Raven's match. Loser leaves.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's what. This isn't when the lights went out and came on and Jerry Lawler was in the ring with us, right?
Yes, I think it is.
Okay.
He was there with you. Yep.
In that case, I do remember that. It's the only time I think that we've done anything with the gangsters.
Really?
Yeah, because they ran out, and we hit everybody when they were trying to come into the ring. We stood our ground, took the ring over. The locker room emptied out one by one. Everyone was coming in. We were slamming trash cans into them, throwing chairs at them, kicking them when they're trying to come through the ropes. And it was a really strong moment for us. And I believe that's the only time that I ever even touched New Jack.
Wow, seriously. How about that? Only time you guys crossed paths in the ring.
Yeah.
Yes, Philadelphia says that was the time. Yep. How about that?
Hey, baby.
I guess, Rob, that's all I got, basically. Did you want to do RVDology this week, or how do you feel? What are you feeling?
Yeah, we can't leave the people like this. But also, let me just say, sometimes there's cool shit behind me, and you don't notice, and you don't know. And if anyone watching, be honest. But if you ever notice, sometimes I have my Money in the Bank briefcase sitting behind me.
What?
I think I've done it 3 times and put it where this RVD jersey is, sitting on the counter back there. And Originally, it was because we were gonna have Joe Holland on the show, and I wanted to have it to talk about him. But then I just started like making it like an Easter egg.
I haven't noticed.
Right, it made it. People, y'all didn't notice either. This is an RVD jersey that is going into mass production, and it's one of the things that I got to do. I got to shoot a video tonight to tell people that they can get their RVD jersey at DonnieBrookJerseys.com.
Oh, it's a hockey jersey then, Donnybrook.
Yeah. Oh, you know what Donnybrook is?
Yeah, they always call like a Donnybrook like a fight, and that like they usually say.
Oh,
that
cool.
In hockey.
Okay, yeah. So it's DonnieBrookJerseys.com, not to be confused with Hoboken, New Jersey, the home of Frank Sinatra, birthplace. Yeah. But we're talking about that 5XL, and I told them to get me an XL, and I'm thinking maybe an L would be better for my next one. I got to put that on for the video, but it's pretty big on me. It's pretty big on me, and I think he told me that hockey jerseys run really big, and I was like, yeah, but XL. Sometimes I wear double XL. I don't ever wear L, but maybe hockey jerseys are different. I don't know, but it is really cool. You can see it. I was going to say I'll show you the back, but they got the website up, I do believe.
Is it up there? It's up now?
I don't know. If not, yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Shop by Grapplers. Look, they got a Piper one. Where's the RVD? Godfather, Good Brothers. Shop all. Let's see. Those ones are all sold out right now.
Okay. Nice. They're sold out. There we go.
There it is.
You can see how big it is on me, too.
Huge on you, yeah.
That's a 5XL.
Oh, that's sweet.
XL.
All right. Look at that. 420. Heck yeah. Yeah, you could definitely do a large, I think.
Hey, let me see that girl wearing it.
Hey, yeah.
Who that? Hey, hola, muchacha.
There we
Te
go.
gusta mi ropa?
Hey.
What was I going to say? I'm talking to somebody else through him about a different jersey. But I didn't even know the jerseys were different, but I guess a football jersey is different than a wait, what was that one?
That's a hockey jersey.
Okay, so hockey jersey is different than a football jersey, and that's different than a soccer jersey, I guess.
Yeah. So a football jersey, that could be a soccer jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I think I'm gonna have one of those pretty soon too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think I've heard there. Yeah, I think I know which line you might be talking about actually, because I know.
Okay.
Doing that too. Yeah.
We're in an email convo, and hopefully we'll have that pretty soon. Cool. And by the way, the winner of the coloring contest, we're going to reach out and get a hold of you. So I just want to say that because they might be like, dude, what the fuck? But I know you got their name, but yeah, Tyler, we're going to be reaching out to you, and we're catching up on stuff like that. But we'll talk. So, and congratulations, and thanks for doing it. It's awesome. Joe did say there was some that were so close that he might end up doing like 2 or 3 outfits.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be very cool. Heck
yeah.
Well, Rob, what do you got, of course, in the RVDology department this week, huh?
All right. Yeah, so I'll talk at you for a minute. I know that I am well heard. Just looking through some of the comments as well. Always enjoy talking with you people. So this is wait, can you? Oh yeah. Whoa, man, I'm so far behind on comments. What did you say?
Oh, I thought you needed something.
Oh no. I'm reading through, and I always think like I'm at the other end of the list. Like I'm almost to the end of it because I've been kind of scrolling a little here and there, and then I realize I'm still at the beginning, and there's like 2 hours of people. But okay, well, anyway, this is just something that I just thought was worth sharing with you. Something to keep in mind. It's a value that I believe in, a way to be. I think that people are so ready to go off, and it's a position where they're just waiting for something to happen. They're prepared so much they want it to happen. Therein lies potential for some really bad shit to go down. I remember one time when I was, probably, let's say high school. I used to hang out with Eric Peterson, the kid across the street, and his older brother, Mark, was someone that at this time I was having problems with. I wanted to fight him. I was at that stupid age, trying to feel more powerful by having someone scared of me. Like I remember, well, let me get there. For some reason, I was gonna fight, and it was Mark. And anyway, I remember hanging up my pillow in my doorway and practicing punching it with intention and with a certain movement, so that I could be ready. Kind of thing where like I'm not really facing it. Bam, like what? Bam, turning my shoulder into it. Kind of like a surprise, like working on the power, speed. I did that so much. I had myself like so ready. I was just like, just boom, let Mark do something and let him fucking come at me right now. Let him push me like he did last time or whatever it was. Had myself ready, geared, ready to go. I'm playing basketball with Eric, and something happened where we ran into each other while we're shooting. I think maybe he pushed me or something. I don't know. But I gave him that punch before I even knew what was happening. I just had myself like so geared up to throw it and so predetermined to recognize when I was going to be in that situation. Bam, I hit him right between his eyes, broke his glasses, hit him right in the nose, which doesn't feel good. Of course, he's pissed, and then he wanted to fight. And then for me, this was an issue because before I had the power trip on him where, he wouldn't have wanted to, he fed my ego before that and acted like we both knew he wouldn't want to fight me because I would beat him up. Stupid mind games. But I remember after, no, this ain't cool. I don't want to fight you, man. We got the fort together in the backyard. We gotta be friends. We can't fight, man. I didn't want nothing to do with fighting him, and he was pissed and he was ready to fight. I remember being at his house, like maybe the next day or something, and talking with his mom about it. And I just remember even saying like, no, Eric knows he doesn't want to fight me. And his mom, I feel like she called me out for being that punk a lot of times. When I think about it, I think back to like, she was on to me being full of shit and sticking up for her kids. And she said, I think Eric could take you. And all of a sudden my ego was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I think he'd be able to take you. And I said, Eric knows better. And then Eric got brave from his mom saying that. So I don't know, man. I think maybe I could take you. And I just remember like that crushing me, coming down on me like, oh no, now I might have to actually prove something, And it's crazy how like just having that power over somebody, feeling like you have them in a position, how that can feed your fucking ego. And you might not realize it at the time, but you're being an asshole to the cop, to the teacher, to the authoritative figure that tells the person that's arguing with them, anytime, you think you're going to go up against me, I'll tell you what, you're going to find that you're going to lose every single time. You got it? Hey, you're being an asshole. You're telling me you're never, ever wrong? Whoever goes up against you, no, you're doing a power trip. You're trying to put them in your place. You're trying to make yourself feel validated as a superior at their expense. And that's really what's going on there. I talked about this night one time on an RV Theology episode when I was in Savannah, Georgia. A little older now. Now I'm 23, 24, still a punk. In fact, I got a tank top on. I'm walking around feeling like I'm all big in a crowded bar, which of course is asking for trouble. Some trouble happens, and I ended up getting jumped. I guess I won't tell the whole story here, but because I've already told it. But the lesson that I learned there was to put my gloves back up and get ready for the next one, because there's another one coming, because shit ain't over. Because there was a bunch of people. It was really crowded. There was an altercation. We were all watching it. And then one guy came over to me and got in my face. He goes, what the hell was that? What happened? And then and he was setting me up. I didn't know, but his buddy that's behind him reached around and smacked me across the face. Here I said I wasn't going to tell the whole thing, but basically that's what happened. I grabbed this guy by the shoulders and I threw a beautiful round kick. Bam! It fucking knocked the guy down. Anyway, the next night, I went out looking for them, and I had gone to the martial arts store at the flea market and gotten this spiked shoe cover that you could, it's like a plate that over the top of your foot, over your shoe, you put it in with your shoelaces, and your shoelaces will hold it in, and it's got spikes on it. And I was looking for that motherfucker because I want to hit him with that exact same beautiful round kick that knocked him off his feet, but this time I wanted to stick it in his head, right? And I was ready to do it. Of course, we didn't run into them. We looked for them. Me and my buddy didn't see them anywhere that night. And you know what? I'm fucking glad. How stupid was I to go out looking for trouble like that? What good is going to come out of that? Revenge? I'm going to my name, my reputation is going to grow a little bit. There'll be some stories if it turns out good. Stupid. So what I did was I went from being in a defensive mode to actually being proactive. That's inconsistent with considering myself passive, which is my default. I learned. I'm at where I am now, and now I'd like to think that I would handle those situations differently. It's one thing to be ready. Hitting that pillow, man, next time, if someone tries to fuck with me and make me look bad and shove me or whatever, I'm going to pop them. I got them. But to go out and be proactive and actually want it to happen, now you cross the line, and now you're not in a good place, Same thing with walking around with a fucking weapon on my foot in Savannah, Georgia. I see this all the time. On Instagram, I follow several pages that are brutal, that you have to get permission or ask permission to follow, whatever. A lot of them are gunshots, gunfights, scary shootings. I like to see how it really happens, to compare that to what we see in fictional TV shows and movies. The way the body drops, the way that they pop out and surprise people, it's all different in real life. And anyway, I like to know that for educational purposes. But I've seen so many people, and these people too, they have a gun and they're just ready. They're just ready. Hey, someone fucks with me, boom. They're going to wish they hadn't. That's what I know. In their mind, they already have the problem solved before there's a problem. Mm-hmm. That's not very passive, but it's easy to fall into that. They do it with guns all the time. I remember one case. There's a father and son in one car, and then there's another car, and the son gets out. And this black dude gets out of the other car, and they're in each other's faces having words, arguing about who ran into who or whatever. And the dad says something from inside the car, and the son just sidesteps a little bit, and the dad shoots, kills the dude. And the thing was, it was so calculated. It seemed like they already had this move. Like they already knew, like, hey, if something happens, son, you get right there, block the window, I'll get the gun. And then when I say the word step aside, I'll shoot him from sitting right here. You could just tell it was like they already had the machination in their head. And again, they've already got the problem solved. Well, I see a lot of road rage, and I watch those shows on TV besides Instagram. I watch Road Wars. I watch Road Rage. I love to see people that are just so angry they have to fight, and every one of them thinks that they're so tough, and every one of them has the solution. A lot of times the solution is in the trunk of the car. Boom, there'll be a little fender bender. You watch them like go right around, open up their trunk, reach it in, and they pull out, and you know they're going for something, their solution, be it a machete, a baseball bat, fucking whatever it is. You know that they're thinking, if I get into a problem, boom, this is going to solve right here. I'm going to go for this. They are convinced that they're going to have this situation handled because they're ready with that violent thought right fucking there. And so what happens when they come out and they swing that one time and then fucking drop it? Oh shit, now their game is gone. Now what? Fuck. Maybe they shouldn't have had their head up their ass being ready for something to happen. When one, they weren't ready at all in the first place. And two, it could still be avoided. That's where being passive comes in. It's cool to be ready. It's cool to know that you feel comfortable as far as like chances are you could protect yourself. You could be safe. You still want to avoid it. You still want to be passive. It's still best if nobody gets hurt tonight. You know, like this might be a stranger to you. Might be your fault, might be his fault. This person might have a family. They might have kids waiting for them to come home. Right now, the person with the gun that just says, oh, I'm ready anytime right here. They don't even care about that. They want it to happen. They're manifesting themselves being challenged so that they can test themselves with the solution that they have. And so this is what I want to talk about is being passive. The same kid, Eric, what's Eric's last name? Army dude. I haven't talked to him in so long. Fuck. I'll remember it, Eric. Sorry, dude. But he's the one that got me in that altercation at the bar in Savannah when I'm walking around. That was our relationship. He was like a little brother to me. He would pick fights and say, you got to fuck with my brother then if you want to mess with me. And I was a punk. You know, the most positive spin I can put on it is I was looking to learn, to test myself. I enjoyed the competition of competing with other people that were looking for competition. But that's all just a positive spin, shining up a really dirty thing that is violence, injury, anger. None of that is anything that I want to put up with or have with me right now. I'm in Savannah. I'm with that dude, the same dude, Eric, and we're at a different bar just a few blocks from there on a different night. And he has a problem with some guy named Josh. And I was by the door, and Eric comes over to get me, and he says, "Rob," he said, "I might need you to take care of something for me." And I look, and I'm drinking, and I'm, oh yeah, what, you got a problem? You know, to this guy Josh, and I just remember, and it sticks out of my mind right now because I didn't necessarily want to hurt the guy. He seemed like a nice guy, and it brought out the passive side of me that I think we should long for to maintain. He's like, what are you, like some kind of badass or something? I go, I don't know. I mean, not really. I mean, if you want to find out, if you need to find out, we can go outside and find out, dude, if you really want to, but I wouldn't if I were you. And he's like, and then he's really curious, you know, like, what, why what's that mean? Like, and I said, dude, nothing, dude. I mean, we can go find out. I'm just telling you, man. I know that I'm going to kick your ass. I eat Josh's for breakfast. I remember saying something almost exactly like that. Or I eat 3 Josh's for breakfast. Something really stupid like that, which is why I remember that his name is Josh, because that became an inside joke for me and Eric for a long time, eating Josh's for breakfast. But the guy, you know, he was like thinking about it. He was curious, but he really wanted to know. And he was like, well, you like a ninja? Are you some special special forces? And I was like, dude, like Josh, you know what, bro? If you want to go out and test yourself against me, we could do it. I'm going to hurt you. You're going to wish you didn't. Otherwise, you should just shut the fuck up and leave right now. And the guy was just like, no, like he was really thinking about it. I was like, I mean, either way is cool with me, dude. And, I wasn't as much of an asshole looking back at it because that is totally the vibe that I had. It's up to you, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to take me long if you need to find out. But if I were you, I'd rather go home not bloody. And anyway, that was just one night that sticks out in my mind. We didn't fight. The guy, the kid actually seemed cool. Maybe I would have been friends with him on another night, but he was just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm good, and he left. And but I wasn't bullshitting or talking up a storm. That was my level of confidence. That's how I felt, but I didn't feel proactive at all. I felt passive. I did feel like it'd be better if we didn't fight. And so, that's the other side to the coin that I'm remembering right now from my punk days. And I just want the Van Dam fam to keep this in mind, bro. It's one thing to be ready, and be prepared and make yourself feel safe. Put the odds in your corner. Make the chances that you're going to come out all right as high as you can. But don't go manifesting bad shit to happen. That's my advice to you.
I like it. Yes. I know. There's so many times where like something gets you angry or you're revved up and then you're just like, all right, you envision what you want to have happen in your head. And like,
but there's consequences, there's jail time, there's lawsuits, there's injuries, not to mention it's easy as fuck to die. I've seen at least 4 or 5 different reports in the last year on people that got punched one time and went down and died.
Wow.
It happens from hitting their head on the sidewalk or from just being rocked from the punch. Either way, man, it's not like the movies. It's not like on TV. In real life, bro, learn as much as you can through other people's experiences. And if you can, learn through mine.
Yeah, there you go. Good advice, Rob. I like it. RPDology. It's a great
cool.
Yeah, guys. If you
we learn from experience 2 ways: our own experience and someone else's experience. And it's up to you to decide when is when. Sometimes, hey, you just gotta try that. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, could be a person, could be doing something with somebody or whatever it is. You're the one in charge of that. That's what life is. You get to decide, am I going to learn from firsthand experience or secondhand experience, from someone telling me about it or reading a book or just learning from history, what happened when other people did this. That's it. You learn from experience. We build experience as we go. Let's stay on top of shit.
Stay on top of it. Stay on top of it. Guys, good advice. Even I'm Grown says, thank you, RVD. A lot of people would benefit from that advice, for sure. And then
also,
Seth says, hashtag Josh. Hashtag Josh.
I eat Josh's for breakfast, man.
You eat Josh's for breakfast?
I think that club was called the Zoo.
Oh.
Maybe. Or no, Zoo was behind it. Yeah, I don't know. One of the Savannah, there's a lot of, the whole downtown is bar after bar after bar. It's a whole big district. And that's, and there's Army, military there and shit. And there's, and yeah, when I look back at my mentality, my thoughts, my view on the world, my perspective when I was that young, God, I wouldn't want to go back in time for anything. I just feel like, common sense was still on its way.
Yeah, right. And like, you're always learning. That's the thing too, is like, I'll look back too, even 10 years ago and something like, oh man, I was such a fucking moron back then, even,
Yeah, well, that has a lot to do with, what we talk about with when next week, when we're going to talk about regret. You have to keep that in mind, that person that did that, or that didn't do that, that said that or didn't say that, whatever. That person that experienced that, that's not the same person that's right here, right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Over years, you know, what you need in life changes, what you want in life, you know, what you know about life, everything changes in time. And so, you know, even if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're with them for 10 years, you got to take that into account too, instead of expecting everything to be just like what you talked about 10 years ago, because life happened.
Life happens. Yeah. Shit gets in the way. Things, you know, change. It's anything. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Regret is not a healthy emotion. Looking forward to talking about it next week. Give yourself a break, you know, give yourself a break, and we'll talk about it next week.
Don't regret tuning into RVD TV or One of a Kind with RVD on the Rob Van Dam YouTube channel or on OneTrueSport.tv.com. You can hit Rob up at The Real RVD. You can hit me up at Dominic DeAngelo. And like, share, subscribe. You'll see this episode if you're tuning in later on every Monday at 4:20 on RVDTV.com. So check it all out. If you like what you're seeing on One True Sport, be sure to join at OneTrueSportTV.com and sign up for one of our membership tiers. Take a look and see if it fits your bill, fits your needs, whatever you're looking for wrestling stuff. We got a lot of good content on the way. So
awesome.
Rob,
hey baby, was it next week that you want to be the guest? Oh, July 5th.
July 5th.
We got time. We got time. Okay, cool.
Cool. That'll be good stuff. We'll have Katie on here. Who knows what else we have in store on
July 6th, I'm in Montreal Comic Con. July 7th, I'm in Westchester. And I'm going to check out the Westchester Theater.
Get some little bit Mafia. And I'm going to read that book, Double Crossed.
Dude, yeah, but you didn't even read Solace and Prophecy yet. You're collecting books right now.
I'm collecting books. I know. I haven't read the Sheik book yet. I got a lot to read.
I do that too. It's a way of supporting without learning.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. I'll get to them though. I'll knock them out. Hey guys, we'll see you next week here on One of a Kind.
Thanks, Dom. Thanks, Van Dam fam. See you next week. Make it an excellent one.
Yes. No regrets.